When it comes to the treatment side of this, once we've identified the underlying problems, the treatments will associate directly with the area of the problem. For instance, if we find a physical functional change in the body, that we've had some alteration in the spine, for instance, we've got some curve now that is affecting the nervous system. The obvious answer in this would be to create balance in that spine again so the nerves are free and we can get the communication restored back to the body. Now, as we progress in this, I want you to keep in mind the goals. The goals in a functional healthcare setting are slightly different than in a traditional healthcare setting. In traditional healthcare, the only concern we have is of symptoms. And in saying that, we're only worried about symptoms alleviating at that moment. We don't have a lot of attention on it being a long-term solution. When it comes to functional healthcare, we're looking for a functional change in the body. We want the body to function differently so that it continues to function well and give us a sense of being healthy and feeling good. So the first measurement's obvious. You want to feel good, and you should. I would expect that to happen if I were to take you on as a patient. Now, I would also want something very objective from a measurable standpoint on my side, and that is I want to see that your body truly improves, not just some assumption that, hey, you feel better, therefore we must be done. So when we measure a physical change in the body, like a change in the posture or the reflexes, those are things that should return. When we come back after treatment and do follow-up evaluation, we should see those things resolve back towards a normal state. Let's say, for instance, there were 10 different things we found on the physical examination by the time we looked at range of motion or posture or reflexes. And let's say at some point through treatment, that number went from 10 down to 5. That would show a 50% improvement from where we originally started. So our goal in this is to maximize the objective outcome or the objective improvement as we can visualize it and see it upon exam. It completely takes the guesswork out of what's going on with your health, and it puts us on a very tangible scale as well as road to recovery. Now, with a hormone standpoint and from a metabolic improvement, we would expect to see changes, for instance, like the blood pressure that we talked about earlier. The blood pressure should rise when you stand. It's something that we can actually check and see. If we chose to do saliva test, we should also see that change in the saliva test. From a treatment standpoint in that, we would most likely have you taking some vitamins to help support those adrenal glands. Now, notice I said support. We are not looking for replacement like we would in a traditional healthcare standpoint. The objective in this is not to feed you more hormones to replace the function of that organ, but rather to get the supportive nutrients in the body so that your body can now produce the hormones that it has not been doing at this present time. Now, in the third state, when we're looking for a toxicity component or from this cellular function, when we get that inflammation in the body and we measure it on the pH, again, we should see the pH come up upon treatment. The treatment for that would consist more of antioxidants, so some vitamin supplementation, as well as some dietary changes to help you eliminate some of that toxic load coming into the body. Now, time frames on this. When we're dealing with the physical component of the body, typically we're going to see our maximum result within a 3 to 12 week time span. That should give us plenty of time to make a full change within the body. When it comes to a metabolic process, typically we're looking at a 30 to 60 day supplementation regimen to get us to our maximum improvement. When we are dealing with a cleansing component or ridding the body of those toxic elements in the cell, we're looking more like a 3 to 4 week time frame on these. So as you can tell, this doesn't take a long time to change the overall function and state of the body. It just takes a very precise action to change the function. And that's what we would like to do, is change that action so your body can function.